so since I've got the whole front end of the car torn apart while I'm working on the intake, I figured I might as well do the sway bar and the lower control arm monoballs. So here's the monoball kit here, so you might as well knock these out while we're at it. You know, I put these on the M3 and I got all excited. I'm like, well, I need to do this on the 1M. I don't know. They're cool, but for me, it's probably a bit of a waste. So this is the same exact kit that we had on the M3, because it basically has an M3 suspension. So here's our solid bushings that'll replace the really crappy urethane bushings that are in the car. So we have all these pieces that replace the other bushings, but we have to press it out. So I bought I guess it's a control arm press or a bushing press, which we're gonna have to ad lib. It's not a perfect system. It'd be better to have an actual hydraulic press. And we don't have that in the garage here. So that'll go there. These screws will go in. So there's our monoballs. Pull this out. And then here's our sway bar end links, which I've been having problems on the M3. I think maybe I've got them on wrong. But there's one is reverse threaded and the other is regular threaded. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do, since again, all this is open, I really don't feel like doing this, but because it's all open here, I might as well get this done. So I'm gonna take the lower control arms out first. So there's our upper control arm about to come out. Oh, sorry, lower control arm about to come out. See my new intake tube hanging down here. So there we go. I need to press this out. So I'm going to pull these out and then come back around. I'm going to pull this out, pull the sway bar out, do the sway bar. Everybody's over there shipping all the stuff that people are buying. So, while I'm down here, I'm going to tighten this up before I forget. There's got to be a better way to do this. At least it's ratcheting, thank goodness. I took a picture this time of the Endlink orientation, because I think we may have the M3 on backwards. Okay. All right, so you can see sway bar's out. We basically just took the two brackets off, and you can see the end links up here. So I'll pull those off. I've already taken the nuts off, and we're good to go. And I also have the control arms out. So I'm going to put the new sway bar in here first. I also have to take the end links off the top too. We'll do that after I get the sway bar in here. So here's new versus old. You can see the difference in size of the two. And of course the new one has 3 holes instead of just the single one. See that? A little less aggressive turn as well. Alright, so I greased the inside of this, the inside of that. They provide you a little tube of grease. I'm going to put these in place and then get the sway bar mounted in place. Okay, so now I've got to take the end links off. So I got to take this top nut off right there, take the end link off, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to bring the M3 in here because I've got the end links on backwards. And so I've got this all loose fit to get the end link set up. I don't know about this sway bar deal. I don't know why I can't keep this right. But that's technically how it's supposed to go. Let's see the Endlink, but I got to get the lower control arms back in before I determine, but that's not enough clearance. So we'll see when I put the control arms back in how it turns out. But there's the loose fit sway bar. I got to go do the podcasts, and I'll come back out and keep working on getting this set up. All right, it's day 37 of this 1M install, it seems. So I'm now working through getting the sway bar set up and finishing these up. And I didn't video this process of getting these the bushings pressed out, largely because I showed that before, and when we did the M3, and Mike did a much better job than I did. And as much as I like showing the follies, this was this was not good. I broke my vise, so we're just gonna keep it simple here and get these set up. And so I have to kind of file off a little bit of the shavings here because you want this to be clean. And I'm going to clean this out as well, make sure it's good and prepared for the onslaught of high performance handling that I'm going to be doing now that I've got this car set up. Someday anyway. Let's see, what do I want to do? I just want to get this edge cleaned up here. Always got to have bounty. It's like my favorite thing. You guys would be proud of me. I actually got out gloves and wore some gloves yesterday. Alright, so that's nice and clean. So we should be able to put our now Dinan monoballs in here. I might need to file this a little bit more. Let's see. It seems to be getting hung up there. I did kind of clip it a little bit. When we were pressing it out, there's like a little lip there that kind of got hung up. Something's holding it up here. I wonder if yeah, it's that little, there's a little lip here. I gotta keep filing, I gotta file that off. The lip came from the cup kind of pushing in and hitting that edge. So I could probably just, it's thin enough that it should just pull. There we go. Okay, so we have a little bit of Loctite. So then these, I think that's, I think that these go. Just want to make sure I don't lock this down. Maybe I should read the instructions. Yeah. Alright, it's a little blue Loctite. So once I give you some stainless bolts. It was a big old project for not a whole lot of payoff. So I need whatever size this is. Luckily I've got this fancy drawer right here with all this cool stuff. So we'll do one of these deals. Loctite. So I did this on my M3, and I did it at the same time as the rest of the suspension. So I'm not really sure I can tell the difference. Does it give me a torque spec? Does not. Even if it did, my hand is so calibrated that there's no room for error, even if it doesn't even know what torque spec we're supposed to be torquing to. I'm that good. Even if people tell me I don't hold my wrench properly. I know it seems like the right thing to tighten in a star pattern. I don't know if you have to, but that's what I'm doing. All right, so this is all good. I'll come back to you in a minute when we're ready to install. So install, I think these only go in one way, so I want to put these back in before I set the sway bar up. So, oh shoot, grab me that long bolt right behind you. That long one, yeah. I'm so confused on bolts and nuts and what I'm supposed to call things. I've been calling the Obsessed Garage nut the bolt, so now I'm always confused. Two things, the long bolt and the nut that goes on the bottom here. And let me actually torque these now by hand. Feeling good, I'm actually getting something done. Let's see where we're at on our sway bar. So this is just kind of loose fit. So, what's holding me up here? Well, the sway bar's hitting the darn lower control arms, and that's not good. I guess I'm gonna have to take this darn control arm off again. This is upside down. I mean, we have the same problem with the M3. It's like these Endlinks are too long. It's bottomed out. This thing needs to be like up here. I've seen quite a few things online about this thing being too long, but then there's no resolution. So what we're doing here is the Dinan Endlinks are just too long. So I think there might be a difference between the 1 series and the M3. And I don't think it has anything to do with the aftermarket suspension. So we're good. There's no binding or anything. Yeah, so I can turn this. It's not bound. So this should theoretically be okay. All right, we're leaving it. Yeah, I figured out why the Dinan sway bar doesn't fit. Or the sway bar is probably fine, but here's the Endlink on an M3. Here's the Endlink, so this is the OE. Here's the Endlink for a 1M. It's a whole lot different, wouldn't you say? So that's why these are okay, because look, I mean, they're the same length. So there's got to be a different sway bar end length for a 1M. Definitely. Because what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.